I've been interested in the 29th degree for a very long time. Frankly, I have a few of those in my own chart, but I became directly interested in it back in about maybe early 1980s. It might have been about 1981, 1982. I've been doing astrology since 1974. And I was speaking at a local organization, the real estate board, because I used to sell real estate while I was building my astrological practice. And it was a Friday, as I recall. And I had a little baby, I had a child, and I did not work on weekends. I only worked during the week because I wanted to be with my family. After the real estate talk on the forecast for the new year, I don't know what it was, but this woman walked up to me, this beautiful woman. She was probably about 50, very well dressed, high end, extremely calm, extremely present. And she came up to me and she said, "Georgia, I really need for you to look at my chart." And I said, "Well, I'd be happy to do that. How about if we do it Monday, whenever I had the appointment?" She said, "No, I'm only up here from Southern California because I live in Northern California. I'm only up here over the weekend and I have to have it done this weekend. So I know you can do it." I said, "I'm really sorry, Nancy. I can't. I've got a child. Got appointments, things with my family." And was very calm and she wouldn't move. And I finally said, "Okay." And she gave me her birth data. And, that's why at the bottom I have that little sentence there: keep your mind on the objective and not the obstacle, the thing that gets in the way. And that is very definitely the 29th degree. But this lady, Nancy, and I still wish I had that chart. I did her chart and I had to double check the chart because I'd been only practicing for 5 or 6 years and I was nervous like I usually am. And I couldn't understand why I was getting this chart. She told me her data was correct. So I went with the chart. So she comes in for the appointment and I see in her chart that every single house of hers, or most of her houses, were 29 degrees. I had never seen anything, and quite frankly, I've never seen anything like that since. And so I very gingerly asked her, "Nancy, it looks to me like, did something happen to you in the first year of your life?" Why did I ask that question? Because I knew by progression, within a year, they were going to roll over to 0 degrees. At least some of them would. And she said, "Yes, something definitely did happen in my first year of life." She said, "My biological mother was not able to take care of me. And so when I was a little baby, before she was a year old, the biological mother put the baby this is a true story, put the baby on the doorstep of the local firehouse with all her things, a note, I guess. I don't know how that happened. This is a long time ago, with her birth data. And this was her birth data. But what happened subsequently to her, she said she was immediately adopted by a family that loved her and that raised her and that educated her and that had allowed her to be the success that she was. And it turned out that this woman was the head of a very, very large mortgage franchise in Southern California in the early 1980s. So when I saw that, of course, every time I tell that story, I get the chills because it was a chilling yet very clear message that anything and everything can happen at the 29th degree.